Let me go check. This is how all our live streams start.
Actual recording's higher quality. I'll see if there's a push notification.
All right. I see our thumbnail is upcoming. Hey, I think we're live.
Hey, let's see if I got any kind of Gmail about that. Now live on your channel.
Ooh, yay.
Star Trek just says no.
Say again?
I just read your title for the live chat.
Yeah, it's something I'm going to do from now on. Make it more snappy, more clicky than just the episode number, you know?
Yes, I like it.
All right.
So I guess people are going to be going. Are we going to take phone calls? It's already kind of late.
We'll see.
We did get to speak to Willard last time. That was nice.
Yeah, Willard. Ask me again when we start.
Sure.
All
I'm
right.
gonna put Peter David as
chat?
But do you have the rundown?
I do have the rundown. All right, and I'm just getting the chat. Okay. People. Maybe I gotta do this a little bit. Here we go. I found it. Chat. Live stream chat. Okay, just in case. I didn't let anybody know really until about 10 minutes ago that we were going live. So
Okay.
might not have anybody except some newbies or somebody who clicked the notification bell. So, all right, I think we're good. You good?
I was born good.
I was born good. I wonder why it's. Oh, maybe that's. Let me.
I was born to be gooder.
I was born this way. Why? No matter what I do, you and me won't go up and down. You and me are side by side. Side by side.
Pin. I have you pinned, and then you go big to the top.
Ooh,
and a little
let me pin you. Oh, you're wearing my pin. This means something.
All right, I'm sorry I
Okay.
said anything.
We should let people know about the next few weeks, what might happen.
Sure.
And, all right. Boom, boom, boom. Some strings. No strings attached. Corn, starch, everywhere. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the science videos. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to Trek Exploration. I'm Albie.
And I'm Chris.
And today we are talking about Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 22, Symbiosis. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing a lot better than the Ornarans, so I got that going for me.
You know, David Marcus looks good for a zombie. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, you know, it's a unique skill that he has to just be empathetic in every role he plays. Anyway, the two that I've seen him in, and he's pretty empathetic in this. So.
I think he's done two, right? I don't know. I'm
He's
sure
done
he's
two
been in
that I know
something. He's been in something. But
So-
yeah. What do we do first? Hello, introductions. We talk about it. What's
Yeah.
up?
Hey, you know, I'm just sitting here on a Thursday night recording Trek Exploration like I do, and
You look good.
yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a return to. I don't think I look good. My hair looks weird and high.
I think you shaved your face though. Am I seeing that
No,
right?
I'm a little grizzled.
You got a little bit.
I
I'll
got a
see it
little
later on
grizzly.
the big screen.
You look like you're all clean shaven.
Yeah, I did today.
So you got your glasses on a weird setting. I don't know if I've ever seen that color, or are they just reflecting
they go-
something that's on your screen?
All kinds of colors.
Oh, I see. I see.
I shaved today because Serenity had an eye appointment.
Okay.
She's getting glasses. Turns out she had astigmatism and was farsighted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
So she's like Gary Larson,
maybe.
The Far Side. Yes. No?
Don't get the reference, but I'm sure people out there do.
Wait a second. Yeah. Funny, I thought I had a Far Side collection here, but I don't. It's all Bloom County and Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah, you're out of luck. You've never heard of the Far Side. That's baloney.
No, I've heard of it. I just don't. read it. I didn't know if it had something to do with he was
No, well, you said
farsighted or something.
far-sighted.
Farsighted. Okay.
It was a
Four-sided,
slant synonym.
eight-sided,
It was a
20-sided
bad
die. Dungeons and Dragons. Here
a
we go.
bad homonym. Okay, you've heard
Okay.
of ad hominem? That
I
was
have.
bad homonym.
So she picked out these really cool, like almost clear pink glasses. So
That's
excited.
cool.
So I had to wake up early, and I figured I'd look good, so I wouldn't embarrass her. So.
Okay, now define for the people watching at home waking up early.
Well, I had to be there at 10:45 a.m., so I had to wake up at like 9:30, and I actually woke up at 6:30, and I looked at the clock. I was like, if I go back to sleep, I might not wake up, so I'm up. So I took my
Well, good for
time,
you, man.
had some coffee,
Getting
nice
up at
shower and
6:30.
shave.
Like an old person.
Yeah, I felt like an old person. It was just like, this is weird.
What is this daylight?
Yeah, but it all worked out. I was 20 minutes early, and so was she. So it worked out. I got to see her on the day I don't normally see her, so that was fun.
That's cool. That's cool.
How was your week?
Oh my God, what a week. Did I mention on the last show? I don't recall the last time we recorded that Laura got her doctorate. So
Yes.
I'm now Mr. Dr.
We were like,
Vendetti.
congratulations,
Okay, so
Yes,
you
'cause
can call me. I've decided
Mr.
that Mr. Dr.
Dr. Laura
Vendetti is a bit of a mouthful, so you can just call me MD for
MD.
Mr. Doctor. Okay,
Mr. Doctor. I usually
All
call you CD
that's
or
fine
Christopher
too.
D. Philippus.
I'm pretty seedy. I'm a pretty seedy sort. See what I did there?
You
Another
are.
bad homonym.
Yes, you haven't used that ever since I've known you, so that's crazy.
So, yeah. Other than that, it's just been a crazy whirlwind. She already got a job, which is
Wow.
fantastic, right?
Can I have her old one?
No, you remember that scene in Scrubs when the janitor said to JD, "Wait a minute, you can do my job, but I can't do your job," and JD's like, "Yes."
Yes.
So I have a feeling it's a similar situation with you and Laura.
Guess
Although
my favorite episode of Scrubs.
I don't think that she could edit. I'm gonna say the musical episode, or
It's in your poo.
the Wizard of Oz episode. I don't
No,
know.
the musical episode.
Okay,
Watch that one on repeat.
gotcha.
Of course, you
At
know
that
me.
point, I liked that episode, but
Mm-hmm.
at that point, I think Scrubs was starting to scrape a little bit.
Yeah.
And I've been watching. I'm not saying I've been watching. I've seen episodes here and there for the first 7 years, and it just doesn't hold up to me in any way. I'm surprised because I loved Scrubs.
Yeah. I think I binged the whole thing
Yeah.
like at once, and it was great.
No,
I
we
loved
watched it for years and years on actual network TV.
Oh wow! I still pop because those two together do some kind of like cellular commercial
Yeah,
or something.
they're selling cellular plans now.
Something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I
So-
got T-Mobile because of
You got T-Mobile because of Donald Faison and
who's that guy? The guy that's been on Saturday Night Live forever.
okay. I thought you meant the Scrubs dudes. I thought you meant
Oh, are they
Zach
T-Mobile too?
Zach Braff and Donald Faison.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if they're Cricket, they Mint. What else is there? AT&T, Verizon.
I think Mint Mobile is Ryan Reynolds, right? I think Ryan. I was going
oh
to say
yeah,
Brian
he's,
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool guy. Yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool guy's Cricket, and then
Yeah.
I think Mint Mobile is in Cricket are the same thing, aren't they?
Maybe. I don't know.
Somebody tell us down below what Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds is shilling these days.
Yeah, I don't know why I need a cell phone. It's ridiculous.
We all need cell phones.
So just say
One
no.
of us. One of us.
One of us. One of us. We have a little bit of sad news to report. I'm sure you've heard by now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Chris did not read Mzadi.
I did not read Mzadi, and unfortunately, the author of Mzadi and Q Squared and the Star Trek New Frontiers series, Mr. Peter David, has passed away. I knew Peter tangentially because he's a Long Islander, or was a Long Islander as well. And he was a frequent guest at the Icon conventions that I used to go to at Stony Brook University. I went to Stony Brook for a couple of years when I first went to college.
Stony Brook,
Stony Brook,
buddy.
right. And he was also a frequent guest on Destinies, the voice of science fiction. Anytime he had a new book, he was, a longtime friend of the host of that show, Howard Margolin. Howard and I are still friends. I did Destinies for quite a while. I used to do a segment on that. My weirdest, have two recollections of Peter. I've probably told this first one before on the show, but because not only did he live on Long Island, we lived in the same town or close enough.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was at the post office one day, just, I don't know, waiting to mail something. I'm online and I see someone in front of me and turns around. He's carrying this giant box on his shoulder. And he turns around and it was Peter. And I know he didn't recognize me, but I recognized him. So I said, new book, Peter? And he said, yep. And he just kept on walking. So I guess he got his author's copies, right? At that
Yeah.
point, I think he was writing that like Sir Apropos of Nothing. And later on, or I would say later on to me, he started, I guess, mining a lot of public domain characters to
Ah,
write like satirical takes on them.
okay.
And I always thought that they were kind of, well, I can't lie. You can't slander the dead. I thought they were kind of lame.
Hmm.
But he, his bona fides as an author are beyond reproach. I mean, the guy
Right.
was a successful author for many, many years. The second weird story I have about Peter David, I don't know how this happened. I don't recall what the circumstance was. I was either at like LI Geek Con, and it couldn't have been, it could not have been Icon, because Icon was, I think, pretty much over by the time I was a published author. So it was probably at LI Geek a few years ago. I wound up somehow on a panel with Peter David and John Peel. John Peel's
Oh,
another
wow.
local author, right? And he was one of the authors of Independence, the Quantum. He was an author of Independence, one of the Quantum Leap books.
Yeah. John
And I
Peel.
think,
Is he still around?
yeah, John's
Yeah.
still around.
I interviewed him.
Yeah,
I wish him happy birthday every year, so I hope he's still around.
yeah, he's around.
Cool.
He wrote, John Peel as well, wrote a bunch of Star Trek books. But the surreal thing was, I'm on this panel with them because I had the Quantum Leap book.
Right.
Maybe it was a tie-in fiction panel. For the life of me, I don't even remember what it was, but they're just sitting back, and I wound up basically emceeing the panel. So in what universe do you have, like, authors like John Peel and Peter David, and I'm sitting at a table with them? Not only that, I'm sort of running the show because they're not talking, or maybe I just talk too much. I think I've
No.
been filibustering since you mentioned sad news. So
You talk
let
to
me take a
right
breath.
now. That's why you got this job.
Anyway, I'm
You
pretty
talk
good.
the
I'm
right
pretty
amount.
good at talking on mic. Yeah. What's your experience with Peter's work?
Well, first let me say that's awesome that you like recognized him and said hey, and he's just like, yep, because he's that cool.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
mean,
people recognize him all the time.
yeah, I'm sure.
Peter David, it's one of those things where for me, after I read Mzadi, I got kind of obsessed with his writing. So I know if he wrote a book and his name's on the front cover, I can sit down with a blanket and just enjoy the evening, So
I got you. I got you. Have
yeah,
you read any of his non-Star Trek stuff, or have you stuck to the Star Trek stuff?
never touched a non-Star Trek book. I mean, there's more Star Trek books written than I can probably read
Oh,
in my
that's for sure.
lifetime. So, you know,
Well, I mean, this shows you how marketable Peter's name became, because he was the only person, so far as I know, to write for the Star Trek tie-in program with his own original ship and set of characters. He essentially had his own Star Trek series
oh, which
that
one
they
was
let
it?
him do. That was the Excalibur. That was the
Oh,
Star Trek: The New Frontier.
yep. I read
With
the first one. I really enjoyed it.
I think that the ship was called the Excalibur, and I think the captain's name was Mackenzie Calhoun.
Yeah, I can picture the cover.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
so yeah. I mean, if anything, shows you, just how influential he was in the Trek world and in the tie-in genre, that he could just basically have carte blanche and do whatever he wanted. He was also a longtime comic book writer.
Mhm.
He wrote The Incredible Hulk for a long time.
Really
I think he wrote Wonder Woman for quite a while. He wrote
love
Green
Wonder Woman.
Lantern. So yeah, prolific. His talent cannot be denied, and I'm sure that
Yeah, he will be
fandom
missed.
will
Uh,
lament his passing.
Makes me sad that we didn't have him on, but time is fleeting.
Yeah,
But he
he
left
was.
behind a good legacy.
Yeah, I think his best buddy was like Harlan Ellison. So he outlived
Wow.
Harlan. Yeah, I
Oh,
think
did you get that
Harlan
deleted
was his
scene
best man
from
at his wedding.
Encounter at Farpoint? Not Encounter at Farpoint. Sitting on the Edge of Forever, I sent you.
I saw it this morning, but I was getting ready for work, and then I forgot about
I
it.
had no idea there was deleted scenes.
Yeah, it's deleted scenes of Edith Keeler and
Yeah,
and
that was
William
crazy.
Shatner.
I guess they're on the Blu-rays or something. That I hadn't watched it. That's pretty cool.
I still can't figure out what the radio was in the window of City on the Edge
Oh,
of
Sitting on
Forever.
the Edge of Forever. By the time you get there, you got to figure it out.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll figure it out.
We
at
got to
some
call
point.
people. The set director. We've interviewed prop masters and set directors before. Right?
I did that for the 11/22/63 series. Her name is
Yeah.
Jacqueline Schub.
Yeah.
She was fantastic. She was
Very
fantastic.
lovely, explaining
She
all
told
the
me about how
things.
they got all the radios and where they'd find them. And there was a
I think I'm going to
million
upload all
radios in
those
that.
to YouTube.
Oh yeah,
That might be good. Yeah, that might be
Cool.
good. 1122.
11/22. Yeah, it's as far as I can tell, it's still up. I don't even know if the feed is up. I was looking for it about a month ago, and it seemed like it was gone. So I don't know if you're reorganizing the sites.
Yeah, the server, me and Morgan, mostly Morgan, because he's the bright one. I'm the one that tries to follow along.
Right, right.
But he's one by one. We're moving all the sites over.
Cool.
So yeah, should be back up and running. But YouTube's a good backup to have those, and people can get to see them. I know you don't listen to podcasts on YouTube, but I do.
Yeah, I don't. It's very tough.
Yeah, like
You know,
okay, well,
for me, it's very tough. But I'm on
well-
drugs.
speaking of drugs, I can honestly say that I'm not addicted to anything.
Yeah.
We're talking about Star Trek Next Generation Season 1, Episode 22, Symbiosis. Star date unknown, 2364, I don't know. April 18th, 1988, original air date. Story by Robert Lewin, teleplay by Robert Lewin, Richard Manning, and Hans Beimler. Directed by Win Phelps. That's
Is
a
it
new name.
Win or Vin?
Vin?
Like it's going to
Vin
be
Phelps.
German and it's like Vin instead of Win?
Or Vin Pahelps.
Like Wagner instead of Wagner.
Could be.
Yeah.
WW. Who knows?
Win helps.
So Star Trek just says no. Christopher, could you read your awesome episode synopsis for Symbiosis?
Why, yes, I can. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.
The Enterprise heads into the Delos system to study unusually intense solar activity from its primary star when they receive a distress call from a freighter orbiting the fourth planet. Let's put this light show on hold and rescue them, Picard orders. They get there just in time to not be able to do anything to save the ship at all from burning up in the atmosphere, but before it does, they make contact with the crew and arrange to beam them out. The guy on the other end of the call beams over some cargo first, then the crew hops to it. 4 out of the 6 are rescued, and wouldn't you know it, 2 of them are David Marcus and Joaquin McGivers Noonien Singh. Only for some reason they're calling themselves Tajan and Sobi here, but never mind that because they're fighting over that apparently precious cargo, like force lightning fighting. Their inherent force lightning abilities play absolutely no subsequent role in the plot, so let's just forget all about it. Turns out that Tajan and his pal Romus are from the planet Ornara. I always say
Anara, the companion.
Ornara. Right, exactly. Just think of she was so pretty.
Firefly.
She still is so pretty.
Marina Baccarin.
Yes,
Mrs.
Marina
Ryan Reynolds.
Baccarin. Yes, Mrs.
Deadpool.
Right. So from the
Lady
planet
Deadpool.
Ornara. Okay, it turns out that Tajan and his pal Romus are from the planet Ornara, while Sobi and his squeeze Langor are from the neighboring planet Brekka. The cargo is medicine called Felicium that the Ornarans need because they are suffering from a planet-wide plague. Jean-Luc is like, you think you might have told me that before potentially infecting my entire freaking ship? So they hightail it to sickbay, where Tajan and Romus are apparently sick, but Beverly can find no pathogens, no bacteria, no nothing.
No
It
viruses.
takes them about another 7 minutes to figure out what we've already pieced together. The Felicium is a narcotic, and the Breckians have been the Ornarans' pushers for centuries, fooling them into believing that they are still sick with the plague, but really just keeping... I always screw up once. But really, just keeping them addicted so that the Ornarans produce everything that the Breckians need. This prompts Yar to give Wesley an after-school special lecture about the dangers of drug addictions, because drugs are bad, okay? And that's one to grow on. Meanwhile, Beverly is like, surely you're going to put an end to this, right, Jean-Luc? To which he replies, sorry, Doc, prime directive. Sobe and Langer laugh haughtily and say, ha ha, diplomatic immunity, take that, feds. Picard agrees to beam the 4 visitors and the Felicium down to Ornara so the entire planet can get its fix. But there's one catch, and I guess I should have mentioned this earlier. Picard had agreed to help the Ornarans repair their failing freighters with some spare parts, but now he says, nope, sorry, no spare parts for you. You have to solve that problem yourselves. My hands are tied. Prime directive. How do you like your diplomatic immunity now? The Ornarans protest that they will all die, and Picard shrugs and says, give it time. They beam the foursome down. Jean-Luc and Beverly exit the cargo bay while Tasha waves goodbye behind them. And then Picard goes on to speechify about the importance of the Prime Directive. Now, LaForge, get us out of here. The end.
Bum, bum, bum.
Or to be continued on Lower Decks? Question mark?
Maybe. Wow, thank you. That was a great episode synopsis recap. We have people in our chat. Roll for Taraco.
Hey, Roll for Taraco. How are you?
You summoned me? Yes, we did.
roll for Taco. Ruffalo Taco.
Phantom Entanglement. Sugi Sugi says, hey, guys.
Hey, Damon. How you doing, brother?
Yay. I'm excited.
You're going to be on Damon's show this weekend, right?
I think so. It's coming up soon. And they're not live, so...
more sliders.
I think I get to edit that one when I get back from Disney.
Sweet.
Sure.
Oh, you're going to Disney? You didn't tell me that, but that's not even really news.
No, that's like, we got the pass, so.
There you go.
It is what it is. So first impressions. I want to know your first impressions of this, sir.
All right. I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I know the first season of Next Gen gets a really bum rap most of the time. People just say you have to get through it. And for all that, I say that I really feel like the first season makes some very interesting choices. Rarely does it go astray, but this is one of those instances where it goes astray. This episode is terrible. How about you, sir?
Not one of my favorite episodes. It's very weird for me that it's David Marcus the whole time. And, I can't get over it. I've never been able to get over it. I feel bad because typecasting an actor's wrong. Actors can play many parts. But Star Trek's real to me. And it's hard. David died. Most bravely. And it just seems like it's like your teacher rolls in the VCR and the TV on the cart, and you're watching a very special episode of something.
Yes.
Maybe this was a lot of kids' first episode of Star Trek. I don't know. I don't know if that happened. Like in health class, let's watch this episode of Star Trek. Drugs are bad. Except Tasha is like, they feel really good. Really good. So I don't know.
Are they bad?
I don't know. So that's my first impression. Not my favorite, but maybe you could change my mind. I don't know.
I got it. Well, I think that I had I think a little bit less to say about it than you. It's funny because growing up in the 80s, as we both did, watching shows like Different Strokes and Facts of Life, they seem to have social messaging in all of them every week.
Yes.
And was this just like a throwback? Did they get one of the staff writers from What You Talking About, Willis, to fill in on this one, or what? Because I don't know. Different Strokes was always about drug use or pedophiles or the dangers of crossing against the light or
the owner of the bicycle shop, right?
It was Mr. Carlson from WKRP in Cincinnati, Gordon Jump.
Oh yeah, that was him.
And as far as I can tell, he diddled Dudley.
Yeah, Dudley. Dudley's still messed up over that.
Why are we laughing at this?
No, we're going to funny. Hell, surely. It's not funny, but it was a very special episode of Star Trek, and maybe that was the thing. Remember, was it Reagan that was trying to make cartoons have good messages or something? So maybe they thought they could air it earlier in the
It
daytime if they had
was
an episode with a message.
1988. Was Nancy Reagan still around at that point, or
Well, I
was it
think
Barbara Bush?
I think Ronald he actually sat in the captain's chair or something.
Well, that really doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah.
Can you talk about two diametrically opposed visions of the future? But
Yes.
I digress.
He digresses.
Yeah, I mean, so before we go any further, we want you to reach out to us and tell us why you think drugs are fantastic. You can do so right here on the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@exploration. We want you to like and subscribe and comment here so that the algorithm goes up and that we get more people looking at our fantastic points of view about Star Trek. The only two middle-aged white guys talking about Star Trek on the internet. You can also support the show at patreon.com/Trexploration. There you'll find the levels of support, different tiers that you can support us at with different end mores that come with that. You can hit us up on the gram at Trexploration Pod. You can blue sky us at Trexploration.
Smiling
You
at me.
can do a TikTok
Nothing but blue
dance at
skies do
Trexploration.
I see.
Send us an email like our good friend Listen Linda frequently does. That's trexplorationpod@gmail.com. You can send us anything you'd like to the P.O. Box. Well, maybe not a plague. P.O. Box, and definitely not drugs. P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705. And you can also, that's P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705. Buy us a coffee, buymeacoffee.com.
Willard did.
Trexploration, just like our lifetime member, the omnipotent Willard did.
The omnipotent Willard!
You can just give us a one-time bump there if that suits your fancy. We'd like to thank Willard and everybody who supports the show, especially our crew of intrepid Trexplorers. That includes our cadet, Listen Linda, who's on the chat now. We also have our 1701 members, Lieutenant Commander Scott Seligman and Lieutenant Commander Cosplay Dad. Tom, I hope you're doing okay. I saw some stuff on Instagram about the progress of some of the stuff you've been going through, so we're thinking about you.
People dig scars.
And yeah, there was a trigger warning on that one.
Yeah.
And
thank you for that.
Where you been, Captain Charles? Our Captain Charles
Captain
from
Charles.
Texas. Thank you, Captain
We'll
Charles.
see him soon at the end of season 1 at TNG.
Continued support. Yes, we'll do the season wrap up with all of our Trexplorers. So get in on that action. If you would like to join us for the season wrap ups of the shows, you can do so by becoming a member on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Trexploration. Again, thank you to everyone who's supporting the show. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, rating us, sharing us, telling all your friends about this new thing called a Star Trek podcast. It really is unique. Also,
we're the number 2 Star Trek podcast of all time.
Number two. Speaking of support and comments, did we get some feedback, some YouTube feedback?
We got one YouTube comment. And then after that, I got some live chat to read.
We're on fire.
On fire. Great balls of fire. Jerry Lee Lewis, they're different people. Just saying.
What's the comment? It's from...
let's see. Phantom Entanglement Sugi says, Albie's screen is small. That's to make me look smaller compared to Christopher. Yeah, I realized if I pinned it in my window, it pins it on the full screen. So I undid that. Thank you. People aren't supposed to know it's small. Ruffalo Taco says, Albie is the musical episode of Buffy your favorite? Absolutely. I have the album. I have the poster. I have everything there is to have. I memorized it. It's great. It's called Once More with Feeling. I can't wait till Serenity gets to it. That's one of our watches coming up. Big Bang update. We are 4 episodes away from finishing the series.
Oh, how fantastic. Are you going to go into Young Sheldon after that?
Yes, and then George and Mandy. And then awesome. Stewart fails to save the universe. We're excited.
Yeah, when is that one coming out?
Soon. Upcoming season. I'm guessing the fall. That's my guess.
That's a straight to Max show, though, right? It's coming.
Is it? I don't know.
It's going to be HBO Max again at that point.
We got all the things, so
it's a straight to streaming thing.
Oh, cool.
And we got a comment from Sam Higdon979.
Yep.
9 days ago. When is the next TNG review? Well, here you go, Sam.
Now. When will then be now?
Unfortunately,
right now.
Right now, as you're watching,
right
Sam,
now.
this is the next TNG review. Unfortunately, we're talking about Symbiosis.
Okay.
You take your lumps in this life, I guess.
We got to get through them. Ruffalo Taco, Roll for Taraco says, yeah, the Scrubs guys are T-Mobile. Deadpool is Mint Mobile. Oh, and it's Kenan Thompson.
Oh,
is the
okay. From Black
reason.
Jeopardy.
Yep, is the reason from everything. He's so awesome, so that's why I have him on that. Listen, Linda. Hey, listen, Linda's here. She
I gotta
says
look on my
they used
phone.
to use the same actors over and over in Gunsmoke. That's true.
So we're going by Gunsmoke rules here.
Yeah.
You can be many different people in the same universe.
Ruffalo Taco says, I love the songs from Once More with Feeling. I'm going to sing one of the songs in its entirely right now.
Uh-oh.
They got the mustard out. They got the mustard out. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I mean, I just had my last opera of the season last weekend, and that production of Salome was nothing compared to what I just saw.
Thank you. Yes. If you haven't seen Once More with Feeling, check it out.
I plan to do that when I eventually watch Buffy. I hear Buffy is like amazing. I hear Angel is as amazing.
Yep.
So
You got to get the timeline right because there's two parters that
yeah.
overlap.
So I'm gonna have to get like a primer, and someone's gonna have to tell me, okay, what to watch, when, and where.
We're finishing Big Bang, then we're doing Firefly, then we're doing all the rest of the Big Bang universe shows, and then we're doing Buffy.
Okay, so Firefly is going to be easy. Are you're
Yeah.
gonna watch Serenity though, right? I mean, you
Yeah,
have
you gotta watch
if you're going to be
Serenity.
watching with Serenity. You have to
Exactly.
watch Serenity. You have to
And-
watch Serenity while you're watching Serenity, so she doesn't hurt herself.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, so she doesn't get abducted by Reavers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And Miranda.
2 by 2 hands of blue.
Hands of blue. Why do you got blue rubber gloves? Don't worry about it.
I don't think they ever explain that. They do in the comic books.
Oh yeah, I do have the comic books. She's kind of excited. I set up a nightlight for her. Did I tell you that?
No.
It's
Nightlight.
it's a photo frame that plays videos as well. So I loaded all of Firefly onto the photo frame. So her nightlight is just episodes of Firefly playing muted, of course, because
hope.
don't want to keep her up. But her nightlight is just episodes of Firefly. So she's been seeing the ship and seeing different things happen. She's like, I can't wait to watch this.
Well,
Kind of like an overture, you know?
I guess, yeah, just
Like
like
a
at the
visual
beginning
overture.
of the motion picture.
Yeah, Roll for Draco says, will Chris and Albie be doing a Buffy rewatch show? Man,
We got a
no time
lot.
soon.
We got a lot of truck to get through, man.
Yeah, and Chris is a busy fella.
So I don't know. Now that Dr. Laura has a new job, I might be able to step back
Yeah.
from my hectic work pace.
There
and,
you go, and just
yeah.
you can take care of the housework and stuff. You
Yeah.
can
Oh no. I
support
mean,
her.
I'll still work. I just won't work as much.
Right. That's the dream, right?
I mean, yeah, that's my dream. I don't know. But you know, I still got plenty of work ahead of me. We gotta stay for that retirement. I'm not getting any younger. In case you didn't know this, I'm aging just like everybody else.
Oh my God, I'm
Yes.
aging.
Right?
They need to find a cure. They found a vaccine for cancer now. They've found a vaccine for all these things. They still haven't found an aging vaccine. So that's I think that's the worst disease we have right now is aging because everybody seems to die from it.
I think that
It's got a 100% success rate.
I think mosquitoes have killed number one cause of death for men. Mankind is mosquitoes. Humankind. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be misogynistic. And then the
Even-
second cause is aging.
Really?
I heard a stat once.
Okay.
I think it was on Radiolab because they were talking about genetically engineering mosquitoes so that they couldn't reproduce.
Right.
And as far as anybody could tell, this was like at least 15 years ago that I heard this, but as far as anybody could tell, like taking mosquitoes out of the ecosystem would do no harm to anybody anywhere. And a stat that they threw out was that more than half of the entire deaths in the entire history of humanity can be attributed to mosquitoes.
Makes sense.
So I don't know
Bacteria
if
and
that's true.
viruses, they spread them both, right? Because they
Yeah.
suck the blood, they inject the blood.
Yeah, so
They don't
I
change
have
the
to think,
needles, no clean needles on them.
how'd we get on that? I forget now. Oh, needles, and
aging.
drugs, and
Aging.
aging, right?
Yes. Lately, as I approach my extremely late 30s, any day now.
Thank you, Jack Benny.
Yeah, exactly. Any day now. I'm feeling like the great trash heap from Fraggle Rock, and I don't know how to fix that. I don't know.
Just drink less energy drinks, take more walks.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta
I'm
be
looking forward to the
realistic
second half, you know, and hopefully I fix what's wrong with me because I don't want to be like this for the rest of my life.
You're doing great. Just stay the course.
Oh, thank you. Walk it off. Walk it off.
Walk
Right?
it off. Stop eating Burger King. You'll be fine.
Oh, I guess I had Burger King today. I had the
Yeah, I
double
know you
Whopper.
did.
Double Whopper extra mayo, but I didn't get any fries. I got the cheese
Oh,
sticks
that's so
instead.
healthy.
Is that better?
That was so healthy. No, you're the healthiest guy I know.
Yeah, there you go.
There
It
you
had
go.
that salad on the bun, you know.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah. So. All right, Symbiosis. So this is your favorite episode, Chris.
Oh, the greatest episode of Star Trek ever made.
Is that what I'm hearing?
It was
What are your
nice-
second impressions of Symbiosis?
It was nice to see Merrick.
I can't say his name.
I gotta say, it was my
Buttrick?
guess. Merritt Buttrick. As the
Merritt
young-
Buttrick.
And Judson Scott. It's nice to see Judson in a Star Trek property in which he's actually credited.
He's from something else?
He's from Wrath of Khan. He's Joaquin. That's why I called him Joaquin McGivers.
Oh, I didn't get it. Now I get it. Okay.
Yeah, he was the one. No, sir. We have Janice. And,
Wow. See, now they reused that actor, and I didn't.
that was him. That was
Didn't bother me.
That was Joaquin. He had like.
So now
sort of
you ruined the rest of the
funky-
episode for me.
The headband on, and so you didn't realize that those were two. That's why. I mentioned it
Wow.
earlier. Yeah.
I'm connecting it in my head. You just made a synapse in my head.
I'm so glad that I'm able to make those connections for you.
Yeah.
But
Star Trek
you
connections.
know the story about Wrath of Khan. Judson Scott was apparently not credited. He tells the story. You can probably find it online. But there was just some back and forth, and I don't know if he thought he was joking or what. And he's like, "Oh, don't credit me for the movie," and he laughed. And he saw it in the theater, and he was just like, "Oh my God, my name's not on the movie."
Oh crap.
So he laughs about it. You know, he's a good sport about it. And yeah, I don't know
Wow.
what else they've done, but
So-
I can't see them besides, you know. I
He's the
can
blonde dude.
avenge you.
He's the blonde dude.
Yeah, he's a blonde dude. Yeah,
And
he's
now
the one-
he's got a dark beard, and he totally fooled me.
he's the pusher. No,
Yep.
he doesn't have a beard. He's clean shaven.
Oh
talking about?
man, now my
Riker has a beard.
synapses are totally wrong.
Are
Synapsi?
we talking about? Are we talking about Symbiosis?
I think so.
Are you sure you're not on the drugs?
No,
was,
I thought it was like David Marcus's friend that was also on the drugs.
No. He was the statuesque. He was the statuesque
Oh,
drug
those
pusher.
two are hard to look at. I mean, Space Karen with silly putty on her nose is
Well,
bad.
Well, then this was Space Joaquin, double Space Joaquin with a little bit of silly putty. They all had silly putty on. their
Yeah.
nose.
Okay, I redid the synapses, so I should be fine now. Yeah, he was weird looking too. They were both weird looking. I didn't like either of them. I guess they did their job good.
Wait a second. Linda says, happy birthday. Mine's coming up soon, too. She's a fellow Gemini.
Yay!
How soon is your birthday, Albie?
9 days. How many days are in May? Usually
9 days. 30 days have September, April, June, and November. Of 28, there's only one. All the rest have 31. So 31.
31.
I know
So
it's
10
31
days.
because it's the 31st is Saturday.
June 8th is International Albie Day.
June 8th, you say?
Yes. Hey, we got the omnipotent Willard late to the party.
Hey,
Didn't
Willard.
realize the recording was tonight. Neither did we.
Yeah, we just kind of wung it. We didn't know if we were going live or what.
Yeah.
And listen, Linda reminds us that Merritt was also in Square Pegs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she says she loved them in Square Pegs.
That's awesome.
So I never. This
Yeah,
another
happy
one I've
birthday,
never
Linda.
seen.
She's a Gemini. I'm a Stegosaurus.
Square Pegs. I'm a goatfish. Or is it a fish goat? I'm not really sure.
Not really sure. June 19th. Wow, Ruffalo Taco. Looks like June's the birthday month.
Wow,
Oh, speaking of, it was Willard's birthday, and we didn't find out until 5 minutes before we were getting out of here last week. So,
Yeah, but we said happy birthday to him.
yeah, that was great. I sang happy birthday. But afterwards, I gave him a call.
Aww.
Yeah, so anybody in the Q continuum level gets a birthday call.
Wow. Wait.
There's only one, but you know.
You lucky son of a bitches.
Omnipotent Willard says, hope International Albie Day was great as International Omnipotent Willard Day. Yeah, it was. It was a good day. I got to know Willard. We talked for a few hours. It was great.
Oh, wow.
We got a lot of similar interests, collecting digital media and old TV shows and stuff like that. Yeah, of course. That's why we're here, right?
Good for you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was great. So
So
happy birthday, everybody.
Yeah, happy birthday to all. It seems like everybody's got a birthday but me.
Where do we start? Did you get to watch the Reading Rainbow thing? Probably not.
No, you know I didn't watch a damn thing you sent me.
No.
Stop.
Okay,
Just
but
stop.
I think this is the most memorable thing about this episode for me. When they did the Reading Rainbow, because LeVar was on both. They did the behind the scenes on Star Trek Next Generation. This is the episode they were filming when they did that. So all those lines are like stuck in my head from being a kid and just watching that over and over again.
Okay.
So Captain Tajan. And every once in a while when I don't know what to say and I'm just confused, I say Captain Tajan.
So, I mean, Captain Tijan, was he really Captain? This is what kind of makes me a little bit like, well, not just this, but the first thing that sticks out. The plot depends on these people being real dummies. Like they don't know how to repair their ships. They don't know how to fly their ships. So the conceit here is that the Breckons got the plague once and they realized that the drug would cure it, but they wanted to keep the Ornarans strung out so that the Ornarans would build everything for them and give them everything that they needed as a society in exchange for the Felicium.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, the Breckians had absolutely no other industry except for refining Felicium to like oxycodone levels.
Right.
How then is it that between two planets that have been trading for 200 years,
you're going to say it.
they've lost the institutional knowledge that it takes to travel between the planets to the point where for two planets that rely completely on one another for this interstellar trade, not interstellar, I guess
Interplanetary.
intersolar trade, right? Interplanetary trade.
Yeah.
Interstellar's a good movie though.
Yeah.
That there are just two freaking shuttles left and nobody knows how to fix them.
I thought there was one now, right?
I think there were two left after the one
Okay.
burned up in the atmosphere.
Okay.
It
yeah.
was thirds the charm, but now it's, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of like don't look at that part of the episode.
Yeah, but the entire denouement of the episode hinges
Yeah,
on that. What?
that was probably the clunkiest part of the whole episode.
I don't know about that.
Well, these were proto-Packleds, and I think people addicted to drugs would be good with vocational skills to enable them to be able to get their drugs.
Yeah, you think that, I mean, according to Tasha, though, Albie, all they really care about is getting their next fix.
Because it's so good.
Right.
It just makes you feel so good.
Once they get that fix,
Yeah,
then they don't care about fixing the shit.
that's true. But
the
72
most
hours later,
problem.
72 hours later, they're going to need their fix again.
But, I mean, that one cargo container had 400 billion doses or something like that. So... what
4,376,421.
And that's going to last a long time because there's only about 35,000 people on Ornara. So,
Oh,
Ornara.
yeah.
I'm only teasing.
I don't know how many people are on
in
there. But it is very confusing. It seems like it's like almost like written like it's supposed to be a Twilight Zone twist or something, and it just makes no sense when you think about it. Because if the planet that produces everything that the people that produce the Felicium needs, they should know how to make shuttles, right?
Right. I mean, how do they
But the Felicium people aren't making shuttles. They're making
like
Felicium.
they have like a really big trebuchet, and they just bring it off the planet. They gotta wait for the planets to align a little bit. But
That's the word I like. That's cool. And they're saying that the one planet beat their addiction, but there's Felicium everywhere, and they're refining it. They got to have Felicium problems there. I mean,
Felicium addicts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it when Joaquim and what's her name? So he was actually Sobi in this. Sobi and Langor. She's languorous. She's all seductive. She's got that weird.
She good cop?
She's the good cop. I think they're both sort of good cops.
Yeah.
She's
She's more good cop, but she's a Karen also. And he's bad cop, but nice about it.
Pardon me for coughing. She had a very William Ware Thies. That was a very Bill Thies costume she had going on with the cutouts and the midriff. And
for some reason, she wasn't doing it for me. I don't know if it was the silly putty or the haircut or just the attitude.
I think it was the attitude
Might
because
be.
drugs are bad. Okay.
Drugs are bad, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I really liked the performance that we got from Judd in this. I thought that he played like a really excellent douche, and I thought that Merritt and the guy who was his buddy, Romus, that was Richard Lineback. I've seen him in stuff too. I just don't know what. Look
Okay.
up somebody look up Richard Lineback. Tell us what he was
Yeah,
in.
let us know.
And
He was always good. Probably better to me than Merrick Buttrick.
Merritt.
Merritt Buttrick. It just flows off the tongue like that, you know.
The one who played Langor, the Karen that you didn't like, her name is Kimberly Farr. I wonder if she's related to Jamie Farr.
Jamie Farr, that would be
Da,
cool.
da, 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 da. All right.
I have every episode on DVD.
Question.
Answer.
Did this episode seem to try to go especially out of its way to break the mold of the original series? In the sense that, and this is one thing that we keep coming back to in season one, is just how counterintuitive a lot of Picard's actions are here. When you expect a fight or an intervention, he always does the exact opposite, the 180, and he's very comfortable doing it because he lives in a different mindset than we do. This one struck me as especially egregious and noticeable because you have Beverly, who is so passionate about these
That's a good
people
word.
being enslaved to this addiction, even though it took her a million years to figure out that it's obvious to everybody. And Jean-Luc is just like, no, we can't do anything. Like what? Where is the line? Like, how come he if the prime directive is so sacrosanct in this, how come he could rescue them in the first place? If it was just going to happen, it was just going to happen. You've already interfered. Then they get on board, and I know you need this because show, because plot.
Because show.
Why would you agree to help them fix their ships again if what you're doing is so, hands offy? The prime directive has always been problematic to me, and I like it as an ideal, but it is always interesting to see how they shape it and how they apply it. And I feel like this shows you that sometimes it can just be whatever they say it is because they need it for the purposes of the dramatic tension in this episode. Thoughts?
Yeah. I can understand Picard like helping them fix the ship when he thought there was a health crisis and it was getting them medicine. That seems like it's okay to interfere if it's medicine. But when it's not curing something and it's just a recreational drug, that's where he's like, I don't know if I want to do that anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, but he beamed the heroin down to Heroin Planet
Right.
at the end.
Because they didn't have any way to get any more. So yeah, they got their fix this time, but in 3 days, 4 days time, they're going to be dying to death, but they won't die. And then in a couple weeks, they'll be fine and be like,
I don't
huh.
know. I couldn't help but think of the episode of Enterprise, which is one of my favorites. Another first season episode of a Star Trek series, Dear Doctor, where
Yes.
they have a similar sort of situation with a plague and with whether or not they should help the society cure it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that episode gets a lot of flack. And I was just listening to John Billingsley on the Decon Chamber
Yeah.
talking about this episode, and he did not like the way it ended. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but the upshot that I'm getting to with comparing the two is that you do have Archer debating with himself and with T'Pol about how he's going to proceed. And he said, we're out here flying blind. Maybe someday there'll be some kind of directive that tells us what to do. But until then, and at the time when I saw it the first time, and I think I saw that one as it first aired because I was trying to give Enterprise a chance. I was just like, why are you wussing out? Just talk about forming the Prime Directive. Like, you're part of Starfleet. I know the Federation isn't a thing yet, but Starfleet is. And so why not make this an episode where you start having steps towards defining that Prime Directive? But then I realized what a dumb MacGuffin it could become based on the way it's used in this episode. So I'm really glad now, in retrospect, in hindsight, that they left it so vague and loosey-goosey for Enterprise, because they weren't constrained by it.
Yeah.
I feel like everything I'm telling you is eliciting no response.
Well, I'm processing it all. I'm a little slow. I don't know if anything's really working here. Maybe you can help me out.
I don't know. Let's see. Chris, listen, Linda says, IMDb says Richard Linebeck was in an episode of Enterprise. Another example of Star Trek using the same actors multiple times. Which, I don't know which episode.
Was he one of the bioengineered people that Mr. Spiner made?
One of the augments? No, he'd
Yeah.
be too old to be one of the augments. Then maybe it was one of the Zindi, or maybe he was
angry Vulcan.
maybe he was one of the Suliban behind all that pebbly makeup.
Maybe. Oh yes, Suliban. It could have been.
Yeah.
Wouldn't recognize him. I don't recognize him in anything else, but I'll have to look that up.
Maybe he was Future Guy in like the silhouette. So yeah. So I mean, I know I've been talking a lot about this episode, but
it has the same kind of setup as that episode of Enterprise. I think this is supposed to be just Picard's clever and using the Prime Directive any way he wants to, and he just kind of like, he figured out a way to help them by not helping them, maybe.
Or just letting them, like, being hoisted on their own petard or Picard to go all Shakespeare.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to die, but they're going to just have bad withdrawal symptoms, right?
Linda says that the actor Linebeck played Keswick.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember the episode with Keswick. I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah.
Now, the Enterprise completist in me demands to know. Let me take a look.
Keswick.
Enterprise.
I can't think.
I know Linda's probably writing it now, but I had to close the screen. This is the greatest kind of podcasting, and watching me look up Keswick from Enterprise.
Tune in each week to see us read your comments.
You can see the top of my head as I look this up.
Yeah, you got a nice top of your head. Just saying.
Keswick Enterprise episode. Let's see. The Zindi. Let's see. So I guess show results with Keswick. So he is a Zindi. There we go.
Good guess, Chris.
Huh, look at that.
Wow.
IMDb.
Yeah, not a great episode.
Go ahead, you go first.
Not a great episode. Drugs are bad. There's not that much to say about it. I didn't like the guest stars. Anyway, I didn't like the drug dealers, the good cop, bad cop. I did like the other two, the ones that were all hooked on something. It brings up some things, some thoughts. I can understand how they feel a little bit. One time, without my knowledge, somebody I trusted gave me some Felicium. Twice. I just thought it was some like ibuprofen or something, or some.
That's not good.
It's not good. And afterwards, my brain convinced me that I was in pain and needed more. So I totally understand, and it took a couple weeks for the desire to go away.
That's scary.
Yeah, so I always run away from that stuff. I'm very lucky that I can quit anything cold turkey very easily. It's like a black or white thing, an on or off thing in my brain, and it just works. That's why I have so much problem with food, because like I can quit food. I quit food once for 3 months, and I lost like 100 pounds. Everybody thought I was dying, but they were also complimenting me at the same time. So, but eventually I had to eat again.
Yeah, I mean, 3 months is a long way to go with no food.
It is.
So you must have ordered you a Camel?
I just drank diet soda for 3 months, and I got down to like a 29-inch waist. So I was tiny.
Diet soda is disgusting.
Yeah, I don't like it, but you know.
I'm a sugar-free garbage.
Yeah. I got to have some pleasure in life. I can't smoke. I don't drink. I mean, I drink a little bit of alcohol, but it's not like I've never wanted a drink. You know, except for like, you know, the Manhattan in Manhattan, the Long Island iced tea in Long Island. But that's more about being silly than actually wanting alcohol.
Right, and I think that was we were together for both of those, weren't
Yeah,
we? Yeah.
yeah. So the only time I drink is when I hang out with you, maybe.
Yeah, and I'm a bad influence that way because the only time I drink is always. So
But I'm lucky I don't have that gene, so I don't really have an addictive gene except for food, I guess. So
yeah, I mean, listen, we're making a lot of fun of like the anti-drug message on
yeah,
this episode because it's just so obvious and
in your face.
somewhat pedantic. But I think that we're certainly not making fun of or mocking those who struggle with addiction.
No.
I guess we have to say that as just
Yeah.
part of. I would hope that's assumed, but let's just say it straight out. So,
Mhm.
any goofs we make are not due to the plight of the what are they called? The Ornarans, the
Unwrapping.
Ornarans. Not due to the plight of the Marina Bacarans, but
Marina Becker's.
but due to the way that this episode just presents everything in such a ham-fisted way.
Mhm.
It really is like this script by committee. I can't imagine like the process of getting this story through. I wanted to read about it in the
Maybe that's why I
Mexican
didn't recognize any of
Companion,
the
but
writers really.
no, I mean I've seen the names of these writers
Have you?
noted before,
Okay.
but it's just like you got to be kidding me. Like this is really like Bush League level stuff.
Hmm.
You'd expect something better from Star Trek,
Hmm.
and I'm going to go somewhere where I think you're going to be mad at me.
Hmm.
I think Gates was especially terrible in this episode.
Dude, she was very high maintenance in this episode.
Well, I
Like,
mean, I'm talking about Gates's performance as opposed to Beverly's presence.
really?
Yeah. Did
She
you?
was definitely going on about something.
I mean, but just the melodramatic way that she delivered her lines. I don't know if it was because the director told her you have to be more strident, you have to be more
More,
passionate about
more.
this. Yeah, I mean, she's like, wouldn't less be more? And he said yes, but then imagine how much more would be. That's a joke from Frasier. Name the episode down below. But yeah, I'm always happy when I see Dr. Crusher on screen because I always like the way that Gates approached the character and the way she comes across. It's just a very naturalistic vibe to her. So much better, even though I really like Deanna as a character too. I think especially in these early seasons, she's so much better at the role than Marina was at her role at this point in the show. Maybe because they gave Gates a lot more to do.
Yeah. Because
Marina
they were
didn't.
still teasing that whole Picard Beverly thing.
Yeah, yeah. And you can also tell that I really feel like, aside from that, they needed her to punch like the drama because they realized how thin this script was when the first act and a half is filled with them like watching solar flares. Like we don't get to the main part of the story until like 15 minutes into the show. And I think that's when they start doing the rescues and stuff. And it's just like, what are we talking about here? Where they've never seen a solar flare before. This is a remarkable occurrence.
That looked like real footage.
It looked like, yeah,
almost.
cue the stock footage of the
Yeah.
sun, right?
I don't. Did we have footage of the sun
I
in
don't know.
'88?
It looked like something you would have seen in Cosmos in the 70s.
Yeah, maybe.
So was it? Did we get Voyager do a sun flyby? Did it slingshot around the sun to get to Pluto, or?
And maybe it time traveled back to the '60s.
Yeah. It rescued Edith Keeler, and that's why we're all speaking German.
Yeah, exactly.
But, hey, what are you going to do? That was that deleted scene that I didn't watch, huh?
Man in the High Castle, exactly.
So,
Edith Keeler
I don't know.
turns out to
I
be
don't know.
Mrs. Hitler. Crazy.
So, I mean, Beverly, I know that you are just gaga over Beverly.
She
But
looked good in this episode. I liked her coloring. She was very pale and she had that bright red hair going on. But she was very adamant and expressive in this episode. More so than her character ever is, I think. Ever. But then so it kind of bumped me a little bit, but then I was remembering Badass Beverly from Picard season 3. So I was like, okay, she's cool.
yeah, well, okay. I mean, so you're just giving her a pass. That's what you're
Yeah.
saying.
But Picard could have said, "Don't worry, I got this." But that would have gave it away to the audience. So he had to save it for the last minute.
I suppose. The conceit.
What did you
Okay, you first.
What did you think about the electric eel gene? going on with Riker.
I completely forgot about it. Like I said in the recap, they introduce it to absolutely. I mean, he uses it as a threat against Riker, but he's bluffing. Picard calls
Mhm.
his bluff. He backs down, and Riker's like, "Ooh, my insides sure are shaky." It's like maybe he should be in the sick bay with some kind of damage. Maybe they should show
Yeah.
you the lengths that an addict will go through in hurting an innocent to get what they need, and it's not even really their fault because they're not in control of their actions. As Tasha taught me in this episode, they'll do anything
Anything.
for their next fix, and they will not stop ever.
Nope.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because it's
That's
so
Terminator.
good.
That was the Terminator. Uh, yeah. What did you think of that? I mean, it was just a weird. It stuck out like a sore thumb. Like it was there for no reason.
It was there for no reason, but maybe exactly the reason you said. But I think maybe because they just had time to make some silly putty noses, so they needed him to be more alien in some way, and maybe that was the way.
I suppose, but I mean, now you have like the moray eel species here. I
Yeah.
mean, how did they evolve? They even talk about. I wonder how they evolved. I wonder what. Blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
They go on. I'm thinking if I want to be positive about it, if I want to give it like the benefit of the doubt. All right, see, this is me being nice to Next Gen season 1. I've noticed that there is a constant and marked acknowledgement of the fact that they're exploring. So they'll just throw neat discoveries apropos of nothing into each episode to get that where no man has gone before. I'm sorry, where no one has gone before. Like that's it's right there on the bumper sticker, right? So let's just pay lip service to it a little bit every episode, and it doesn't have to be in the main plot. This is how it would be in real life. Oh, that's strange. Let's talk about it for 5 minutes. Oh, wait a minute. Now this is happening over here. That requires our attention. Somebody call a read alert. I so maybe that's what it's about. It's like not only are we talking about the drugs and the story of the week and the guest of the week, but hey, look, this is Star Trek, and they're out and they're exploring and they're seeing neat stuff and they're talking about the neat stuff that they see and speculating on it and just being inquisitive. And isn't that the greatest vision of the future we can have?
It was very much like that at the end. It gave me those vibes, but it also gave me filler vibes. And the beginning and end was filler, and the middle story was not so good.
I told you I was being kind. That was me being kind.
You
No, I
were
mean,
being kind.
it was obviously filler. It was
Yes.
obviously filler because they just had such a weak story otherwise, which is
Did
why
did they
I
have
think
a
they did.
B story in this one? Maybe that was what
No,
happened.
I mean,
Was
what
the
was
B
the B
story looking
story?
at the solar flares
I think
increasing?
the B story began the show, right? Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was that the B story? They were just looking at the sun.
well, look at it. This
They're like, oh, it's a little bright.
this episode has 3 credited writers, and that's just what the Writers Guild allows. I think you can only have 3. So who knows how many hands were in this pot just trying to build this Frankenstein,
Yeah.
to
I
fill
guess
47 minutes.
26 episodes a season. It's a good thing because you do have the off episodes that you wouldn't have normally in the 10 exciting. The universe is going to end season
Yeah, yeah.
episodes. But then you get clunkers like this too that they're just trying to get to the next week.
All right, so let's just be positive here. So
Okay, positive.
what
Positive.
did we see in this that made us feel better about our friends on the Enterprise D? Was there any kind of character revelation, any kind of any kind of mythos that you could latch onto that you found out in this episode, or character trait that was just hammered home?
Wesley is very naive, maybe?
I guess.
And maybe Tasha used to do some good drugs.
Well, she had to get away from the gangs.
The gangs, yeah.
Yes, yes.
I noticed Brent in this episode was doing some smiling and some smirking.
Okay, I think that Worf had a pretty good role in this
What happened?
episode.
What
They
did
gave
Worf
Michael a
do
lot
in
more
this?
to do. He was talking about the ships and everything in the atmosphere. He had a lot to say in the
Oh,
first
yeah.
act when they were leaving the flare to go rescue the ships.
Hmm.
So they gave him more to do. I feel like they gave him a lot of what would normally be like Tasha's lines.
Hmm.
But he came across and it looked. They changed his appliance. Has his appliance evolved in this episode? It
I
looks a
did
little
not look,
different
but
to
I'll
me.
look when I watch it again.
Maybe also it could be that I'm just used to the first season appliance, but it looks like it's been improved in this episode. Somebody can tell us in the
What I
comments.
wondered about Worf was when Wesley Station was doing all those blue sparks again. Worf didn't go, "Whoa!" Last time that didn't go so good for me, and he didn't back away. Nobody seemed to notice, and it was pretty huge. And Wesley's like, guys,
Yeah,
guys,
these solar flares are playing havoc. They're playing Mary Hob with our systems.
yeah."
Do we need to take a break? We've been going for about an
Yes,
hour.
looks like we're going to take a break, and after the break, we'll talk about our sponsor, and we'll wrap this up, and we'll do some trivia, and we got a Trek and Tell, and I got a little bit of an unboxing to do.
Ooh,
What could it possibly
ooh,
be? So hopefully we can mine a little bit more out of the Just Say No episode of Star Trek, Symbiosis, after this break. All right, do you need to get a drink of water? I'm going to go pee. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Everybody, leave some comments so we got something for
Yeah,
when we get
just
back.
remember, we'll still be here. Put on the Jeopardy theme or something. The
Okay.
final Jeopardy theme.
There,
I am
Jeopardy
gonna grab
theme.
I'm gonna grab a glass of water. I'll be right back.
Everybody try to inventory Chris's shelves behind him now that he's gone.
Doot, 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 doot. Now we can't monetize. Good thing this is the break. All right, let's see what we got going here. All right. It looks like the Scrubs guys are T-Mobile and Deadpool is Mint Mobile. Gotcha. Thank you very much, Ruffalo Taco, for enlightening us on that. He also calls Linda a June bug. I'm just going through some of the comments that we haven't gone through so far. Hey, and
All
Albie's
right,
back.
we're coming back in a bit. All right. And we're back. Welcome back to Trek Exploration. We're talking about season 1, episode 22 of Star Trek: The Next Generation, Symbiosis.
Symbiosis.
So, a funny thing about this episode, they filmed them out of production order. So, Denise actually filmed this episode after she filmed Skin of Evil, which is what we're going to watch next, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Or the next on the TNG rewatch, anyway.
Right, right. Then there's that little Easter egg. Did you know about that Easter egg before I sent you the video today?
You're talking about the wave.
Yes, she waves
I
goodbye.
I knew about that from our esteemed graphic designer Scott Madison, who did all of our logos and things like that. All of our
Thanks,
artwork.
Scott.
Thank you, Scott. That's planetrisecreative.com. You can go there, and Scott will do wonderful, wonderful things for you. He's a great,
Highly recommended.
wonderful, wonderful artwork for you.
Yes.
The other stuff might be negotiable. I'm not sure.
Everything's negotiable, right?
But yeah, no, he had mentioned it on that Star Trek podcast at some point or in some capacity. That's who I heard it from. So thank you, Scott, because I knew to look for it. A lot of times when I'm watching these, especially the first time, if I'm not able to watch them a second time, I'm taking notes. So sometimes I'm looking down at my pad as I'm writing. But I knew that I needed to see Denise. I knew I needed to see Denise's last scene because I'd never seen that Easter egg before. I knew of it. And I'm sure I saw it because I saw this episode once before, but
Yeah,
I didn't know about it then.
Unless you're really looking. I mean,
Yeah.
all the people that it went through in post didn't see it, so.
I have to think that no matter how many takes they did, that her blocking had her standing there for continuity, and she probably did it every take so that they had no choice. Otherwise, why? Unless she did it for that one take and they said, you know what? Screw you guys. Yeah, I wonder, does anybody know the story behind that?
No, all I know is that's why she did it. That's all I know.
So I guess that's kind of a spoiler for what happens in the next episode of Next Gen. But
It's got to be weird for all of the actors to go through that episode, Skin of Evil.
Yeah.
And then, oh, hey, Tasha, how you doing?
And it's also got to be weird for Denise, who is essentially being drummed off the show. There are conflicting reasons as to why she left.
Yeah.
She was going to be a movie star. She was going to do this. She was going to do that.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's why I wasn't sad to see her go, because I was, at least at the time, I thought she wanted to go.
Yeah, I mean, I can barely remember it from Chaos on the Bridge, which is my really the only behind the scenes knowledge that I have of Next Gen. But regardless, how crappy must it have felt for her to get an episode like Skin of Evil where they just kill off her character, as Guinan said, a death with no meaning, an empty death. And then the next one that they're, producing out of order to give Tasha such a big part in it. And for her to actually, that's maybe one thing we can point out at this episode in the context of it being behind the scenes, like we know what was going on then. Well, at least she was a pro. Like Denise didn't just phone it in. She didn't, bring the episode down. She was as good
if anything, more relaxed and more into the character, maybe.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know.
So
to me, it just seemed like that whole part between Wesley and Tasha on the bridge there was like almost like filmed for an outtake for some special thing for the more you know, and not to be in the episode.
Yeah, maybe maybe they needed to film that part because that was when Reading Rainbow was on the set.
That was, yeah.
So maybe that was like the pull scene for Reading Rainbow, so it can also be a say no to drugs message.
Yeah, so and the kids would watch that episode because they watched Reading Rainbow about it, and it was a very special episode.
Right, there we go.
Synergy,
right? That's a word.
Right. Here's the unboxing.
Whoa, wait, we got an unboxing. Wow,
we got an unboxing.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
I like books. It's a book. Why? What?
Can you
book
read
is
that title?
Sir? It says 1700 esoteric syllables about your mama. That is the book by our frequent guest, our dear friend, the beautiful John Irons.
Written by him and a co-author.
And Jared Stern.
Jared Stern of the Jared Stern and Jared Stern in between two Sterns.
Podcast, yes.
Podcast.
Jared's also a stand-up comedian.
Yep. And relation or no relation, I'm not sure. Is it my week or your week to read a Yo Mama haiku?
You have to read it because it's your week. I don't have the book yet.
Okay, yes. If people were following along with everything, it looks like it's full color again.
Yep.
So feel free to order from the link from the last episode. I'll put it down this episode.
Yep. Put it.
Oh, well, never mind. Everything's working. Publishers, they're silly.
We never explained what this book is about. It's essentially an entire book filled with haikus about Yo Mama.
Yo Mama.
Yo Mama.
So I just picked one randomly because I like pigs and I saw a pig. So
Okay.
we're gonna go with that one.
All right, babe.
Yo, mama, so mean. She smashed your piggy bank because it wasn't kosher.
Wow. So many levels on that one. Just layers
Yeah.
upon layers.
So the amazing, beautiful John Irons and his friend
Jared
Jared
Stern.
Stern wrote a book, and we'll have the link down below. He's on a little book tour right now. I think he was on the Dave and Stacy TV rewatch
The
Al's Place podcast.
Corman Production
Yes,
TV rewatch podcast.
I have the T-shirt. You think I should read
Yeah,
it,
I have
right?
it too. Yeah, I at least I stopped saying TV talk or TV time in the title. Oh wait, I just did it again.
TV
So
time, yeah. So that'll be a thing. So get your copy. It's not bad. It's $17 for the paperback. I think it's like 5 for the Kindle version. 17 because of 1,700 syllables. And we love our friend John Irons. Might we get him back in the future on the show?
yeah, I mean, you're gonna need somebody in the future on the show. We can talk about that. I guess after we do some final thoughts and stuff. But
Right.
yeah, and that's not it's not as ominous as I just made that sound. Everybody.
No. Very temporary thing. Let's see. Let me check my notes real quick. David David Marcus is on drugs. Okay.
Yes,
There was
we
a
know that.
Vulcan in this episode in engineering. Did you catch that?
No.
Not Dr. Solar, but a Vulcan.
Okay.
Yeah, just for one shot. Saw her ears. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. They did nothing with her though. Just say no. Okay, that's all
They
I
didn't.
got.
They didn't do anything with Troy in this episode either.
No,
I would say that
she was there,
poor,
right?
poor Marina went full circle because she had as much to do in this episode as she did in Star Trek Nemesis.
One moon circles.
Captain, what is it? I don't, it's just like, oh, the crew is on edge because of solar flares. It's like, what? Like,
Solar
isn't that why
flares
you're
are
out
increasing,
here?
Captain.
Like to study solar flares?
I don't know. You know what? Maybe the illusion was broken because I had seen the episode of Reading Rainbow and I had seen them film the same scene on the bridge from 4 different angles, 6 different times. So maybe this episode isn't real to me. So maybe I have a bias.
All right, but I mean, so which scene did they keep showing on Reading Rainbow?
Captain DeJean, on screen. They're waiting for you in the observation lounge, sir. That one over and over again.
Okay. So, I mean, speaking of Reading Rainbow,
Reading Rainbow, take a look. It's in a book. A Reading
have you
Rainbow.
listened
But
to?
you don't have to take my word for it.
Have you listened to Will's new podcast?
Yes, I
Story
have.
Time? Or is it Tell Me a Story? Let me
The
look.
first episode I did, the time travel on a bus with the
Yeah, I listened to the time travel
pliers
on a
or
bus
scissors, was it? Something.
one. It's called It's Story Time with Will Wheaton.
With Will
There it
Wheaton.
is. It's on my phone.
Yes,
It's
I
Story
really
Time.
enjoyed the first one. I gotta finish them
The
out.
second episode is fantastic.
Is it? Okay.
It's called Proof by Induction by Jose Pablo Iriarte. It was a fantastic story.
Nice.
The first one that you're talking about was a story called Rock, Paper, Scissors, Love, Death.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that one. It reminded me. Well, I love any book that Will Wheaton reads. It just I think that's why I got so much into Ready Player One. He did the audiobook version, and his reading of it reminded me of the Ready Player One book of the Rock Paper Scissors Lizard Spock. Was it?
Yes. Rock, Paper, Scissors, Love, Death.
Yes.
It
was good. That was a good story. I really
like
enjoyed
the
that.
stories. I'm not sure Will has grooved into the part yet. He's a little too scripted, and he's trying. It's like the Ready Room Will Wheaton, and not just like Will talking. So I'm sure that will evolve as the show goes on. But the stories themselves, the two that I've heard so far, are really, really good. That's what it was about. They're not going to be more than like 40 minutes or so, he said, because you want to be able to listen during commute or whatever.
And I think season 1 is done, and they're taking a little bit of time, and then going to come out with season 2.
Yeah. So I mean, you got a whole bunch of episodes that you can just listen to right now,
Yeah.
and I would recommend it. So it's story time.
Yeah. If
Hosted
check,
by Will Wheaton.
yeah, if you can check out his audiobook reading of Ready Player One. It's an amazing book. You could probably read it, knowing you easier.
I read it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about it.
Really? I
Oh
thought
yeah,
it was
we
much
could
better
have.
than the movie.
Yeah, no,
You know, I like the movie.
I don't think I saw the movie
Really?
because I didn't like the book, so I don't think I watched the movie.
Okay.
I feel like did I watch the movie?
I saw it in 3D in the theater like 4 times. I have the 4K Blu-ray,
Is
the
the movie
3D
where
Blu-ray.
they went to The Shining?
Yeah,
Do they,
I went to The Shining.
does the movie go between animation and when they're avatars? Yes, then I did see it.
because they're in the Oasis and it's VR
Right.
world, and then they're not.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I did see the movie.
Yeah, Spielberg, man. You didn't
I
like it?
did.
Did you read Ready Player Two? That was good.
No,
That was a good follow
I
up.
think. Let me see if I can give you my synopsis of Ready Player One.
Too much member berries. That's usually the big
Too
complaint.
much memory berries, and the character's entire story arc was to recreate the achievements of somebody else. He didn't do anything by himself. Like everything that he did was just a video game Easter egg bullshit.
He got the girl.
Yes, so what? That's formulaic. You know?
It was Willy Wonka. It was Willy Wonka. Basically.
You lose, sir.
Good day. Good day, sir. Listen, Linda says, I wasn't a reading Rainbow gal. Mr. Rogers was my jam. Mr. Rogers, yeah.
Wow, yeah. I used to like Mr. Rogers too.
Lou
I hated
Ferrigno,
that
man, was
dumb
on
cat.
Mr. Rogers. Freaked me the hell out.
That cat freaked me out.
Oh, yeah. Daniel Tiger.
And the
Daniel
weird,
Tiger.
the weird
King
princess.
Friday. I had a King Friday puppet that smelled like PVC sex toys. I don't know.
Wow, that's
was
very
weird.
specific.
Yes, that 70s toy smell where like fumes were just coming off it and it was not good for
It was
you.
the ugly puppet that looked like Phyllis Diller.
Oh man, Mrs. Krabappel, no, Mrs. King Friday, Queen Hillary, Queen. Somebody
Tuesday.
help me out. I think it was King Friday's wife,
Okay.
which was Daniel Tiger's mom, which made no sense.
So I never liked the puppets parts of Mr. Rogers. I did like.
Did
the
you like
going
Trolley?
around yeah, I like the trolley go around on track.
Trolley was good.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah,
I like,
I like Fred Rogers. He
like
was
the
pretty
sweaters.
awesome.
no,
he
he
looked
was
like
a
Tom Hanks sometimes.
fantastic, wonderful human being, by all accounts.
Yeah,
I just didn't like the damn puppets. Okay. I liked Sesame Street better. So ironically, I liked those puppets. but
Sesame
they were
Street's
Muppets.
awesome.
So,
I told you went to the Puppet Museum, right? And saw the Sesame Street people and all the.
no.
Yeah, we in Atlanta we went to they have a puppet museum, puppet arts museum, and they have so many Jim Henson puppets there. They have like Bert and Ernie, they have Big Bird, and people from the Labyrinth or puppets from the Labyrinth and Fraggle Rock and so many cool things. They have
And
a
the
whole
s-
like
the stuffed corpse of
dozers.
David Bowie. And,
Yep,
right? Uh-huh.
exactly. I felt weird because they all look like stuffed versions of the puppets.
You look closely, and Jennifer Connelly's taking tickets.
That would have been awesome. That was a fun day. That was the day we almost got in the St. Patrick's Day parade accidentally. So that was cool.
It was you and St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, I'm always in a town with a parade on St.
I'm
Patrick's
telling
Day.
you, man. Yeah.
Weird. What else is in this episode? I mean,
I'm just trying to go character by character in my head. Jordy doesn't
Okay.
get much to do.
no.
Data gets to be a little bit of an exposition dump.
Beverly is way off.
Beverly and John. It's a Beverly Jean-Luc episode.
It is.
Which it's the moral quandary episode, and everybody else is just set dressing. Even Riker doesn't really do a damn
Yeah,
thing.
he just
except
gets
become
a little
yeah,
electroshock therapy.
exactly. So it probably cleaned his colon pretty good. So that's why his insides are still jumbled.
I would have liked Riker to say at the end of that scene, could I have a little bit more?
Wait a minute. My small intestines have fallen out of my rectum. Can you just zap me again so they crawl back up?
Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad. I think
Yeah.
we established that. Yes. So I mean,
So,
who's your
so
episode
what's
crush?
the big like you're a fan of history
What's
and
the
you
big
know
one?
things. Is this trying to be like an allegory or a retelling of some part of our real at the time or history of things?
No, I mean this was straight social commentary. This was
Yeah.
like let this be your last battlefield type obvious commentary about racism. This one was obvious commentary about the scourges of drug use, but not blaming the victim. That's why they went so out of their way to give you the point of view of the Ornarans, the Marina Bacarans, or is it Baccarin? While that was a bit heavy-handed, I think that if you're going to point at something that this episode tried to do that was laudable, was to put it into some kind of broader context and not just say drugs are bad and we need to get all drug addicts off the streets. And it was more like we need to address this as a social problem and figure out how to help these people, not how to shun these people and just push them out of our sight.
I did like that. They weren't blaming the addicts.
Right. So
Yes.
there was that. I mean, but to have Pusher Planet it's just ridiculous on the face.
With one or two shuttlecraft.
Right, with 2 shuttlecraft, Pusher
Yeah.
Planet, and did they raise livestock there? I mean, no, nothing. They get all their beef.
They get all the cows
Yeah,
in that one shuttle.
Right. Also, if they have 2 shuttles, how do they supply an entire freaking planet? I just don't get it.
They can't replicate it and they can't grow it on the other planet.
Right.
I just thought
you can't grow anything in it.
I wasn't sure. Well, maybe you just can't grow plants if you're high on Felicium.
I don't know. The government says it's due to poor farming, Stuart, but I know what's really going on. That is one of my favorite songs ever. Dead
I wasn't
Movement,
sure if
Stuart.
it was like something to do with like building the United States on tobacco, or I don't know. I was trying to find
Oh.
something.
Yeah,
But I guess back then we were dealing with crack, right? And there was people pushing crack, maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
But it
yeah,
gave me
maybe
more
was it
heroin
was it
vibes.
during the crack cocaine epidemic?
I want to say the 80s, right?
Yeah, the 80s. The 80s was a weird
80s,
time.
everybody had crack in the 80s. They put it like they sent an envelope to everybody. I remember, and then they put it in a little gumball, and then you chew the gumball. It was weird.
The hell are you talking about?
Oh, it was when Equal came out. They sent everybody a sugar-free gumball with Equal in it.
I
know,
gotcha.
Yeah, so I was making a crack joke, I guess.
Yeah, no, I didn't understand, but here now because they also did that. I think that's also when they started making like soft cookies, and I think it was like soft chips Ahoy or something. They put them in the mailbox, and we spent one afternoon on our bikes just going to every mailbox in every neighborhood and stealing all the cookies.
Felony.
Exactly. I think I've had felony cookies. I think
Felony cookies. I love
I think
that.
you should probably bleep that part out.
I'll bleep
Yeah,
that
I don't
part
know
out.
what the statute of limitations is for stealing mail, but I've done it.
Yes.
I think and or cookies mail.
No, I'd say no.
Okay.
I'd
thank
say the cookies shouldn't be put in the mail.
You have a vested interest in me being in the co-host seat though, so you might be more forgiving than I.
So somebody send Christopher some fresh baked cookies, but not for about a month.
Yeah, or send them to me in jail. If the feds catch up to me.
You're the one that stole the cookies on the Long Island in the Bronx,
Toll House.
in the Queens.
It was the Long Island. You stole the Toll House cookies.
Stole the Toll House cookies. Nestle Toll House.
Right.
Secret recipe. All right. So do we do our final thoughts and ratings, or do we do some stuff before that? We do some trivia.
Episode
Track and
crush.
tells?
We got to do an
Episode crush.
Who's your episode crush?
My goodness. I almost want to say no, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Tasha Yar because she seemed chill and nice and happy in this episode
All right.
because she's back from the dead.
That's true. That's true. So pressure's off, right?
Yeah.
Can't get any worse than being dead. Do I have an episode crush? It's the impossibly naive Wesley Crusher who has never heard of drug addiction in his entire life. What goes on Earth? In
But
the
it's not real.
24th century,
As he's hanging out in the holodeck, but it's not real.
right?
And
I
Tasha's
know,
like, but it's so good.
Episode crush. I wanted to see them as they crush those crack rocks and show Wesley.
What was your favorite part of the episode?
I just liked the ensemble bits that we had. I liked that some of the characters had more to do than they usually do. That's really all I can say. How about you?
Oh, Linda says her crush was Merritt. Yeah,
Ah,
David Marcus. As guys go
well,
with that kind of hair.
I think she liked them from Square Pegs better.
Yeah. My favorite part would probably be, besides looking at Gates, of course. Sorry, yeah, I
Can't
still
be
have that
Gates
crush.
every time.
Um, would probably be the trick ending to where he's actually helping them, but they don't realize it, and it made me think a lot. And I'm not
Guess
sure I ever finished processing that thought.
if anything approaches clever in this episode.
Yeah, a little clever, right?
I mean,
You're
so
right.
do you think that they were paying homage to this episode because they thought that was a clever ending on Lower Decks, or do you think that they were just making fun of how bad this episode was?
Remind me when they were talking about it on Lower
On
Decks.
Lower Decks, they visit this planet again after
Oh,
Picard stops the drug trade, and they
yes.
have like this giant mural. Because they're such like
Oh,
they're
yes.
health freaks now. Like all it's like jogging boner planet.
And,
But
yeah, and
yeah.
that's the one where Ransom's like the god or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Mhm.
And they have a whole mural about like the before times, the chaos, the hell times after
Mhm.
Picard cut everything off, and then
Yeah, I gotta
now
watch
they're
that
this
again.
amazing society. So
I gotta watch them again.
yeah, so I
So,
mean, we do
all
get a
right.
sequel, sort of.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it was so bad, and they realized it was so bad that it's just funny to do a sequel to a really bad episode.
the 47 in this was the 47 really bad, clunky plot contrivances. That's what I.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trivia question. I'm asking you this time,
Oh,
right?
you're asking me this time?
I'm asking you because you asked me and John Irons last time.
Ask me and Aaliyah.
Oh, all right.
Jacker
I'm gonna grab a
unit.
couple because I know the first one we already read.
Jacker unit.
All right. I got you for 3 questions. In the movie
Yay!
The Wrath of Khan, who is Captain Spock's protege?
That would be Wesley Crusher.
Close. Try again.
For everything, there is a first time, Lieutenant. Lieutenant Savick.
Yes, very good. You might not get this one because I think I tried to reference it before and you didn't get it. So, but we'll see. In the Next Generation episode, I got you for 3 questions. You answered one. You got it correct. You got 2 more to go.
Yay!
In the Next Generation episode, play along at home. In the Next Generation episode, Lessons, what instrument does Captain Picard play during his duet with Lieutenant Commander Nala Darren? Nella Darren?
Is
Nella
that when she
Darren.
plays the piano from Big?
Yes, she plays the piano from Big.
So he plays his inner light flute, doesn't he? His penny whistle.
Yes. More specific.
The inner light flute penny whistle. I don't know what
You're
it's
absolutely
called.
correct. I found one in my car today when I was transporting that computer that I got.
But what is it? What is it? I
You're
guess
right.
it's got
You're
a
right.
name
The
from,
Russican flute
what,
from the Next
Russican?
Generation episode, The Inner Light. So absolutely, yes.
Is that why I was thinking Nausicaan flute instead of
Maybe.
so Russican flute?
But yeah, you got it. You definitely got it.
Okay.
Okay. Got you with your questions. You answered 2 correctly. You got 1 more to go. Play along at home. What nickname for Star Trek Deep Space Nine fans was derived from the episode Take Me Out to the Holosuite?
Would that be the Niners?
That is correct, sir. You answered all 3 correct. Good job. How did you do at home? Let us know in the comments below.
I wonder what it could be. What could the answer be?
I
That's how I should have
wonder-
played this one. I should have said, I wonder what this could be. And then, wait. So ask me that question again. Just ask me that question again. Get it out. Ask me that question again.
What? I got 2 questions. What nickname for the Star Trek Deep Space Nine fans was derived from the episode Take Me Out to the Holosuite?
I don't know if I know this one. That one's tough. Wait a minute. Let me put on my thinking cap. I wonder what it could be. Could it be the Niners? See, now that's the way that scene should have gone. End scene.
End scene.
All right. So
if we had prepared. But these are random questions, so.
Linda says she almost knew all three.
Oh, very good. That's pretty good. Oh my.
Oh my.
Almost knew all three. That's good. That's good. Okay, what else we got to do?
Oh, Truck and Tell.
Trek and tell. Do you have a trek and tell?
I mean, not that's related to this episode.
Is it Mzadi? How about in
I do
honor of
have
Peter David,
Mzadi.
you
I
actually
mean-
unwrap Mzadi? You don't have to read it right now.
Oh, should
But what
I
about
do it?
unwrapping it?
All right. Listen, now you're going to guilt me and say unwrapping Mzadi?
Step by step, slowly. He turned.
Slowly. Elia's going to help me. I need something to pierce through this plastic. Here she goes.
I have the scissors. You need the scissors? I hand it to
No,
you.
I mean, I have the Vija replicant right here.
Oh, okay.
All right, hang on. All right, it is now
Ooh.
unwrapped.
How's it smell?
Smells like victory.
Ah, victory.
So let's see, Mzadi. Let's see if there's a forward by Peter David. Who does he dedicate Mzadi to?
Christopher D. Philippus, of course.
There we go. Also by Peter David, Star Trek, number 57, The Rift. Number 59, The Disinherited, as co-author. Star Trek, The Next Generation. Number 5, Strike Zone. Number 10, A Rock and a Hard Place. Number 12, Doomsday World, as co-author. Number 18, Q-in-Law, also
Q-in-Law is really good.
audio, and Vendetta, which doesn't have a number. So
Q-in-Law is really good. I think
and this
the
one,
Waxana's in that.
he says this one has to be for Harlan.
Oh,
So, and apparently, I don't know about this, but it says hardcover, first printing August 1992. This one goes all the way down to 1. So, this is like a first edition? You got me a
it
first
might be.
edition?
I heard you tell me something like that's important, right?
I mean, if I should have had Peter sign it.
It's never too late.
No, it is too late.
It is too late.
Unless we're going to slingshot V'ger around the sun.
It's possible.
Yeah.
The
So
book
I
is
opened
kind of like
Mzadi.
time
There's my
travel.
Trek and Tell.
After this great author left this plane, he's still able to tell you a story.
Are you telling me that there's time travel in this book? I wonder what gave you that clue.
There might be a little bit. There might be a little bit. Listen, Linda said he's unwrapped it, just like Deanna at the wedding.
Whoa, hey.
Whoa. Yo, hello.
Rim
I want to
shot.
go to a Betazoid wedding.
Just like Deanna at the wedding.
Mhm.
Linda, you're so
So
saucy.
that's baby steps. Baby steps. He's unwrapped it.
All right.
So we'll see.
We'll see about reading it. We'll see about reading it.
You might have some time coming up. Did you want to talk about that when you're
Oh.
going to read things?
What's your Trek and Tell?
My Trek and Tell. Okay, I kind of teased this a little bit, and I just wanted to show people.
Wait a minute. Do we
it's
have
a
to
little-
call HR?
It's a little, it's a little silly thing, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's from the year 1998. I didn't have a serger at the time. I only had a sewing machine. So what I did is I made a pattern of, I guess they're called do-rags.
Yeah, I was going to say that's like you look like Steven Van Zandt. You look like little Steven.
Yep. But I found this fabric, and I was like, "Oh, Star Trek: The Next Generation fabric. That's awesome." And at the time, I worked in restaurants, and I didn't like to wear hats or hairnets, and I did wear hairnets because it's better than a hat. But then when I had stuff like this, and my fiance at the time, her mom had a serger, and she just made this for me. And she made some Cabbage Patch Kids clothes for me too. Some Star Trek: The Next Generation uniforms for Cabbage Patch Kids.
Jesus Christ, we have to talk.
But the cool part about that was when
Wait, let me interrupt. There's no cool part about that, but okay, go ahead. Go on.
the cool part about that is when Serenity was a newborn, she fit in the Cabbage Patch Kids clothes.
Gotcha.
So there's a picture of her as a newborn, totally cosplaying Captain Picard.
All right. That's cool. All right.
Yeah.
You
I'll try
were
to
right,
find
I
that
was wrong.
photo and put that in there. But yeah, this and I'm surprised it's lasted this long because I wash it all the time because I still wear it at home, like when I'm cooking breakfast or dinner for somebody.
Ah.
I'll put a hairnet on.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah,
there
so
you go.
I just thought this is really cool. It's like a custom made by one of my BFFs that used to be a fiance, and her mother made it. Her mother's name was Leilani.
I'd say that your Trek and Tell is better than mine.
I know.
Mine's a
You
little tighter.
unwrapped Mzadi. You know how many people have been waiting?
Finally
for that?
unwrapped Mzadi. It was me and Ilea. Okay, so it's time for some final thoughts and
It is.
ratings.
You're going to do better at this than I am. So I'll go first.
Okay.
Not my favorite. It's cool to see Merrick Buttrick again, but I can't not see David Marcus. I don't like the Felicium dealers. I don't like the heavy-handed. The more you know. I don't like the drugs are bad because obviously, if they're ruining your life, they're bad, and don't do them. And kids don't do drugs, obviously. But like, it's just out of place, and it doesn't make sense, and it's not a good episode, and it's mostly filler. And if I wasn't a completist, I would probably skip this episode. Going forward, I'm gonna give it a woo, just because it's Denise's last episode, and I think she did good in the episode. I'm gonna give her a 2. Gonna give it a 2 out of 5. I'm gonna give it 2 patches of silly putty on the nose
Out of 5.
out of 5.
Gotcha. If there's one thing I can say for this episode, it really tried to be a much more traditional science fiction allegory kind of story, even though there's not much allegorical here. I mean, Felicium is crack, it's heroin,
Yeah,
it's drugs. So I mean, it's kind of on the nose, but
Yeah,
they're using the medium and the genre to highlight and explore something that's a current problem in our society, which was especially highlighted back in the 80s in the Just Say No era. I was a Just Say No kid. So if I can give it props for anything, it's them trying to do a classic science fiction in the way that science fiction has traditionally been used. That being said, everything about this script falls apart upon any kind of cursory scrutiny. And when people point to the first season of Next Gen and say it was really bad, they're pointing to episodes like this. It just kind of fails to fire on every level. It is far less than the sum of its parts, and its parts aren't that great to begin with. So, speaking of parts, I'm going to give it 2 forbidden freighter coils that could have perpetuated the addiction out of 5. Maybe why 2? Well, because I guess something's got to be worse, and that would probably be Code of Honor.
Yeah, I'd love to know why. Maybe it was just to have some kind of episode for the kids, some kind of message episode, so they can go look. We got this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it was an FCC thing, or I don't know.
I think they were just trying to do like a classic Star Trek morality tale.
Yeah, it had that little bit of flavor.
Yeah, right.
Like it's something Kirk would have thought up because he's clever.
But Kirk would have completely, done everything differently.
Yeah.
Anyway, we want to know what you think about this episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation Symbiosis. Please do so right here on the YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@TrekExploration. You can also...
I just read your next bonus episode recap.
Also, you can get us on Patreon. Support us there. Patreon.com/TrekExploration. You can
comment, subscribe,
and support us there on a monthly basis if you so choose. You can hit us up on Instagram @TrekExplorationPod. You can blue sky us at TrekExploration.
Blue skies.
You can email us at TrekExplorationPod@gmail.com. You can buy us coffee, buymeacoffee.com/TrekExploration. Willard did. The omnipotent Willard.
The omnipotent Willard.
And you can also send us anything you like. You can send me a newly wrapped version of Mzadi at P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York 11705. That's P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York 11705. And I'm just going to give it up. That's the same post office in which I saw the late, great Peter David.
Wow. And he was just chill. You recognize him? He was just chill about it.
Just chill, Peter. So
that's pretty awesome.
Rest in
he
peace,
should have gave you a
Peter.
book and signed it. Come on.
Yeah, I didn't have any Peter David books at that point. You know what? No, I lie. I probably had a couple of Star Trek: The Original Series.
Yeah.
But any comments that any of you send to the P.O. Box or whatever, we will use on an upcoming episode of
homemade cookies.
Nobody can steal my cookies because the P.O. Box is locked.
Oh, that's true.
So,
Omnipotent Willard says, at our age, drugs are good. Yeah, everything hurts when you're in your extremely, extremely late 30s.
Speaking of upcoming episodes, Albie, tell us what's next on our TNG recaps.
Well, our next TNG recap looks like it's season 1, episode 23, which seems like we're doing them in air order, but that's okay. It makes sense in this way, is Skin of Evil.
Skin of Evil. That's with
Yeah, hopefully nothing bad happens.
Herodotus or whatever that
Yeah,
character's name is.
what
I don't know. Scott
I usually know is
Scott
Armis.
Madison wrote an entire short story that got
Armis?
published in Ormus.
Yeah, he made our holiday cards. If you were a patron,
Yes.
you got a holiday card.
Yeah. So if you're interested in Ormus, we'll talk about this more in the next episode. We'll talk about Scott's short story that deals with Ormus.
All right, and Chris, what's our next bonus episode?
All right, get ready for, and we're live. Fuck if we know.
All right.
I know that you were talking about doing out of order. I mean, technically, our next bonus episode should be the second or third episode of Voyager because we just did
Should
past
it? Okay.
prologue. But you said you wanted to skip around and do other stuff.
Yeah, maybe
and,
if
you
I'm
know,
feeling
shake it
something. If we're
up.
feeling something, we might have some guest host spots coming up, right? Is that official?
Yeah, so what's going on? Just because we alluded to it before, it's not like I'm leaving the show or anything. I'm just going
No.
on vacation.
Because drugs are bad.
Yeah, I mean, we're celebrating Laura's finally being done with school. I mean,
Congratulations.
she worked her ass off. She didn't leave the kitchen table for 2.5 years.
It's a nice
unless she
kitchen
was-
table.
Yeah, unless
That
she
wasn't
was
cheap.
She was out like doing, rotations and clinical out in the city. So she really did really did dedicate herself for years. And now we're going to celebrate her achievement by going to Europe. So we're going to Munich and Austria, and I'm going to see my favorite opera, La Traviata, at the State Opera House in Prague.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was the first thing I did. When Laura booked the trip and I knew the dates, I said, okay, what's the itinerary? Let me find all the opera houses because opera season just ended here in New York. But I know here in the States, the season anyway for New York is, the fall into the spring. And I know that the spring and summer are when they do everything over in Europe. So I was just fortunate enough to say, okay, we're going to be in Prague on what night? What's playing at the opera house that night? Oh, Traviata, my favorite opera.
Is
It
Dr.
was like
Laura
it was meant to be.
going with you, or is she going to
No.
visit a museum at that time?
She'll probably visit a museum at that time. You know that she does not like the opera.
But I figured if you're in, the
And
country.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so she'll be. Oh no, poor Laura. She's gonna have to be left to her own reconnaissance in Prague on a lovely evening. I mean, she'll be fine for the 2.5 hours that Traviata
Yeah.
takes. It's not that long of an opera.
Yeah.
I mean, by opera standards. So yeah. But that being said, I'm going to be away for the next couple of Thursdays, and we're just talking about maybe having some guest hosts to keep the continuity of stuff.
Yeah.
And who knows when this will air, but I might be back by the time you hear this. But
Yeah, and I didn't want to do the TNG episodes with a guest host because I love your recap synopsises things.
Synopsis is
Yes.
yeah. So if you
synopsises,
want to
so-
do some special bonus
Yeah.
episodes, maybe we can get the beautiful John Irons back. Maybe
Yeah.
we can convince Alison Pregler to come on.
Yeah.
We can do. But
We'll see who
it's
shows
kinda-
up.
Yeah, that's more on you.
Jared
than me.
Ryan, you're invited if you're
I
listening.
mean, yeah. I look forward to seeing who you get in my absence. Who my competition might be. I don't know.
There is no competition for you. You are the one and only. But if you're out of the country, what happens in Europe stays in Europe.
Yes, or I'll tell you all about it when I get back, one way or another. I don't know.
Do I have to pay a tariff when you come back?
Somebody's got to pay a tariff somewhere.
I don't know if I can afford you after that. Yeah. So it'll be fun, and it's well deserved, and so you two enjoy.
Yeah, we're
and,
going to. We're going.
We'll
to.
see you back with Skin of Evil.
Yeah, Skin of Evil, and I look forward to seeing what kind of bonus stuff that you get up to while I'm away. I'll have
It'll be
something-
fun.
Maybe have something to watch while I'm going home on the plane.
Hopefully, it'll be better than my solo 3-hour Valentine's Day show.
Okay, I still haven't watched that. So if
Of course not.
If I want to fall asleep on the plane.
No, you're gonna read my book to fall asleep.
Oh,
on the
that's
plane.
right. That's true. That's true.
So that's what's going on. So I wish you all the best luck with that trip, and send me pictures.
Oh yeah, no, we'll have plenty to talk about when I get back. So I'll try to see
All right,
if there's
remember, leave me Penny.
any kind of Trek presence.
Ooh, Germany, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trek
There's a lot of
presence
Trekkies in Germany.
or Trek peasants.
Hmm.
I don't know. They used to
I
be
don't know.
peasants in Germany.
So I think that about wraps up Symbiosis. Sorry you had to deal with this episode, but we did too. So kind of like a thing. Never going to talk or think about it again, hopefully.
Stay off the drugs.
Yeah, drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad.
Don't do kids. Don't do drugs. They're so good. Don't do them.
Don't do them.
Don't do them.
I guess I just don't understand.
It's not real. And speaking of not real, for Trek Exploration, I'm Albie.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next time.
Clean and sober.
Great movie. Great movie.
Maybe clean.
Batman.
But maybe not sober.
Yeah, probably not. All right. Thank you, everybody in the live stream watching us. The edited version will be out.
Thank you,
in a
Linda,
little bit.
for the F-bomb.
Yep, that's okay. I'll cut it out. We don't need to monetize this one. It was worth it. It was funny. It made me laugh. All right. Yeah, we Willard, we already do have some people lined up. We just didn't want to announce them until, it's official, because that's one of those rules in podcasting. If you say you plan to do something, then it won't happen. So
Yeah, pretty much. So
yeah. So and then let's see. Let me put this up here, and I think that's enough for the credits. You think that's enough for the credits? Niners. I am a Niner. I am a Niner. All right. Talk to you later, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And
Thanks for being on the stream,
we
everyone.
really appreciate you and everybody. And Chris has unwrapped it.
that's right. He's done.